I'm going to cut to the chase right at the start of this video. I am farming in Zadnor for this step all the way. Now, if you want to hear my reasoning and justification of why I recommend this, then stick around. So this video is going to try and be short and sweet because I want to get the information as fast as I could, but while being informed and actually letting you know what the steps are and what I'm doing, having gone through the paces myself. I haven't fully finished this step yet. As I'm about to say, this is one heck of a step. But I have completed leveling to 25. I have beaten the dalaridia, which you could say was one hell of a fight. For sure. And then slotting my resistance honors into damage. So I've really gone face first into this content, so I'm confident on what I'm saying. But I do want to say, like, this step is no joke. It is massively bulky and will be incredibly time consuming, but thankfully you only need to do this step once on your character for any relic weapon, meaning if you just want to get like a scholar weapon at the start, okay, you need to do this step, because you need to do it once on the character. But now you want a machinist weapon, you never need to do this step again, because you already did it. One and done. But saying that it's time consuming, this step, is exactly why I'm getting this video out with my own particular strategy to tackle this efficiently. And I am going to leave more details and math and like the whole relic guide for later when I've actually slept and ran through it myself and crunched some numbers. Heaven knows right now I feel like a handful has been dropped on me right now. But I am confident in my strategy for this step right now and how I'm approaching it, so I'm showing it. So let's pin down exactly what the step is. Or rather, the first 3 steps, you should really be grabbing all 3 of the quests, these first quote-unquote 3 steps at once. The quest names are Spare Parts, Tell Me a Story, and A Fond Memory. Unlike misconceptions that are floating around, these do not require 30 items per thing, which would be a total of 90. Each of them requires 30 of 2 different items for a total of 60 items per step. And yes, you did hear that right, 180 total items must be collected across all of these 3 quests for this first step. You can obtain these items either through the brand new Zadnor map in the Bozjan relic content, or by doing past raid content. I don't want to say current raid content because yes, you could technically do it in current raid content, but even for some of these, you're probably going to go to Leviathan or Titan, which were first tier of this expansion's raid, so I don't really want to say current. Each quest, though, can be thought of in terms of map locations and particular expansion raids. The southernmost Zadnor map is Heaven's Ward raids and Spare Parts, Axles, and Springs. This corresponds to the quest Spare Parts. That's going to be your bottom map in your Heaven's Ward. The second quest can be thought of as being the middle section of the map and Stormblood raids, battles for a realm and beyond the Rift books, basically the 2 different books. The third quest, A Fond Memory, is all about that highest level zone in the map and shadowbringers raids. But back to the quantity of items and what makes those items different. For each of these 3 quests, you need to obtain 30 of what I am going to be calling a basic item. She's basic. Or easy to get item. And 30 of what I am calling a special item, or a quote-unquote harder to get item, because they're actually quite a pain to get. So special items are, across all 3 of these quests, Springs, Beyond the Rift, Lurid Memories. Basic items across these quests are Axles, Battles for the Realm, and Bleak Memories. I call them basic and special because the special items are honestly a pain in the rear to get. Special items can only be obtained from specifically critical engagements or from the last 2 fights in a particular raid tier. Remember that a full raid tier is usually 4 fights, and we're going to be then talking about the 3rd or 4th fight of the tier. So we're talking about like E3 or E4S. We're talking about E7, normal raid, sorry. E3N, E4N, E7N, E8N, E11N, E12N. Like, we're talking about the 3rd or the 4th of the tier. Critical engagements are going to also be how you can get them. So, critical engagements, though, I should say, will award you with 2 of these special items, not just 1. Such as if you're farming, like, a critical engagement in the 3rd layer, the highest level layer in Zadnor, you are going to be getting 2 lurid memories from a critical engagement. But the 3rd or 4th raid tier will only give you 1. Now you're going to see why I'm just like sticking Zadnor generally. Skirmishes and the first and second fights of a raid tier are going to award you with a single basic item such as an axle or bleak memory. As a case example, let's say that you want to farm the most pain in the rump items to get for this step, in my opinion. The lurid memories, they are my nightmare right now. You need to either farm critical engagements at the highest level section of the map, or alternatively go into either Leviathan or Titan normal raids and clear them, which really isn't that hard, but it can take a bit of time and be a little tedious and a little boring, especially if you farmed it like a ton like I did in the past. So what is my personal go-to that I have been doing and will be continuing to do until I'm done this step? I've been honestly focused on whacking the step out of Zadnor. There have been so many skirmishes popping up on a regular basis that I cannot possibly say in good faith that I'd recommend someone to farm those fights out for the basic ones. Like, why would you go into a raid and grind a raid for one of them when skirmishes are popping up everywhere? And that's brand new content with brand new mechanics and a brand new map. And then you can use lost actions to change it. You can have like all these different bonuses. Like, I can't in good faith say that. And plus, I think that it does work out mathematically to be significantly more, because skirmishes and then raids sometimes wipe on normal mode, and with so many new players coming to the game, which is totally good, everyone needs to learn, you do sometimes unfortunately get people who are not maybe doing the fight as fast as you want to. So I generally would say aim to Zadnor for that. I can't really justify however I look at it, really. And I should say that that goes for any of the 3 quests. Any level of the map, I would never waste it on like the basic items. My inventory is starting to already overfill with some of them, and that's with me actively trying to manage that. Now about the unique ones, the unique items. I've had almost no issue getting the first section of the map to pop critical engagements at a massive rate. Not a single problem with that, really. In fact, comically, if you look at my inventory, I have more critical engagements, special springs, than I do cranks from skirmishes. It's like, I don't know why that happened, but there's just that many critical engagements, and I guess I need to farm skirmishes on the first floor. Whatever, I can do that easily when I wake up. Now, when it comes to the critical engagements from the second layer, same deal, honestly. So many critical engagements will naturally pop in from this area that it's been very easy for me to get a significant chunk of these special item bucks. I can't really justify throwing myself at 03N or 04N to really wrap that step up anymore. It's just such a steady influx, and plus you have the other skirmishes, you have the other critical engagements. It's very easy to keep pace. But where things do start to get tricky, though, is this third layer, this lurid memory. It's difficult. And this might change as more people get into the third layer content, because I do realize I'm really ahead of the curve, and that's not a brag. It's just like, that's just what I've been doing, like, to make sure that, like, I get everyone the information they need. But my goodness, talking about lurid memories and critical engagements on the third layer, it has been a struggle to get a critical engagement up there for me, personally at least, to the point where I have actually been tempted to just completely forego Bozja at that step if it wasn't for the fact that I really do plan to farm more Bozja content, go into DR Savage and go back to DR, just get some of the stuff that I missed from before. So Resistance Honors is actually a huge deal to me, because in the long term that's going to save me an immense amount of time. But regardless, I see myself for this entire step plunking myself in Zadnor, grinding out metal, and farming the relic on the side. Maybe if I get really excited and eager, I will be running to do like Titan and Leviathan normal. Like, let's say the critical engagement starts spawning. I will probably like rush out if I'm at like my last 5, and I'll just be like, I'm just gonna bang these out. I can actually see that happening tonight, maybe, but that's not going to be the majority of my farm. My actual farm is just going to be running side to side, managing like all the 30, making sure that I don't have like overflowing inventory. But I do want to also say my aversion to those raids is probably because I'm also bored to death of those fights, since I did them a bazillion times. Yeah. So there's that. Anyhow, that is all for this video. I just honestly kind of want to get up, stretch, eat, and get some sleep now. Take care, everyone, and happy relic farming. More information coming soon, but I need to sleep.